again. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about, now that you've had quite a bit of time to get familiar with your oils, now how do you actually share them? Because by now I'm sure you've had a miracle moment for your family or something like that, to where you're really impressed with something about the oils and you can't help but share it. Or otherwise, it'd just make you burst inside, pretty much. So my story with that, my friend called me up and she said that she needed help with her child's teething. And I thought, that's my story too, pretty much. My kids need, they're just miserable with teething, and I had given them so much ibuprofen that I had induced a viral rash on my daughter. I'd given it to her for 3 days straight as directed. But what happened was I had suppressed her fever mechanism, and she ended up getting a red dots on her trunk. And so as a nurse, I was like, well, geez, this is pretty lame. What am I going to do? So I went ahead and I talked to my friend, and she helped me make up a blend. And so long story short, the blend for teething was peppermint, melaleuca, and lavender, 1 drop of each in a tablespoon of oil, or like a carrier oil. We rubbed it right on her jawline, down the base of her neck, on her wrists, on the bottom of her feet, and that was the money shot. I mean, and within a couple minutes, within 30 seconds actually, she was totally passed out and asleep in my lap. And I just was like amazed. My other favorite way to express how thankful I am for having people in my life that introduced me to the oils was, I was living in Alaska, and in the winters I would get really moody, and I didn't realize that wasn't normal. And so I got into using patchouli and wild orange, and that really gave me a boost and kept me the same melody that my husband would leave in the morning and come home to at night. And so with that, I was feeling good. So, it's like when you feel good, you got to tell people about it. And so I know that sounds like something that you've experienced. And so here's what you do. It can get cluttered if you don't start writing it down. And so what I do is, it's simple. When you have a miracle moment and you're like, that person comes to mind, I just get my pen and paper out. I actually keep a little binder, and I just have simple pieces of paper, and I write down their name. That's it. Because there's this something called the law of champions. When you introduce something to someone the first time, they're not going to be into it. Don't worry. That doesn't mean no. It just means not right now. So what you need to do is realize that the second touch, the third touch, the fourth touch, and then the fifth touch is when champions are actually born. And so what that means is people have to have a chance to have their own authentic moment. They're not where you are. So don't worry about it. So just all you need to do is just write down their name. And then when you talk to them, you need to have a communications log. And so on the date, you write down what you did. And it's just like work. It's not a big deal. You just write down what you did, you forget about it, you move on. The next day, you're like, oh, wow, this person's texting me back again. Or I said I would text them today. Let me follow up with my little chore list, my task. And then I follow up with them. That's touch 2. Usually it's like, hey, we were talking and you said your kid had a problem breathing at school at track practice. I have some breathe oil to sample you, because it made such a huge difference in my daughter. We had bath time. It helped dry up her runny nose. It helped her breathe better. It wouldn't hurt, right? You want to try it? Simple. just zip it. Don't go off. It's awesome. There's so much power in silence. Just remember that. So much posture, so much that you can learn by not talking, right? Ouch, right? Okay, so go ahead and write down their name. Remember that don't expect results until the 4th or 5th touch. And then that comes the invite. Would you like to learn more about what I've been telling you about? Because you don't want to put your pearls out there yet. You like hold them a little like a surprise, because people aren't ready yet until they have that moment. So go ahead and sample to them, and then make sure that you know what's going on with your friends. Just get them plugged into coming to the next event that you know is going on. And if you don't know if there's an event going on, invite them over for a cup of coffee or tea and just have a one-on-one with them and just talk. How could that hurt? That's how I started. I just sampled enough to help people just get a couple here and there. And then as I could tell people starting to becoming more and more interested in it, I would break them away, and then I would help them get their wholesale account. And that's how I got my oils paid for at first. And I would just kind of collectively have an account that I would share, sort of. And then within a couple of months, the people that were flying with it got their own wholesale account because I could tell that they were wanting more than I, should be selling them, meaning like probably $50 or more a month in oils. And, at that point it was like, let's just take this to the next level. So all you need to do is write it down, sample it, get them to an event, ask whoever enrolled you for help. If you don't know who that is, get in touch with me and I'll help you figure out what to do. So basically just keeping track of it. And then eventually you're going to have people floating in different categories of your life. Okay, so like every month I have a goal to enroll 4 people. And so I write down their names on here. And if I exceed that, great. It's just a starting point. And then on my paper here, I have an enrollments list. And I write down 4 slots because that's what I expect. And then I have a list of people who I'm cross-lining with, which means they may not be in my doTERRA organization, but they're doing doTERRA. And it's good to cross-line together because education is free. For mentorship and business development, they really want to go through their upline ideally. But if not, you can have another conversation. But just who are you networking with, okay? And then classes or one-on-ones, what are the dates? So look at your week, the week ahead of time and say, okay, on Tuesday and Thursday evenings, I'm free. So I'm going to have people come over from 6 to 7, done. So just make sure that you time block it. It's kind of like that Field of Dreams thing. You build it, they will come. So it's like you have to actually expect it. It's not going to fall in your lap. It's not going to automatically happen unless you make it a priority and just speak it into existence. And so, and then I always have a category pending enrollments. So people that are saying yes, but not right now, that's okay too. Those kind of people need follow-up, and that's an as-needed type thing. You know where you left off. Maybe they're waiting for payday, so you find out what that date is, and then you follow up a day or two later. And then I have a category on people that are really moving, that need to be touched more than, once or so a week. I make sure that I have a time commitment with them ongoing. And the other thing is as I close, you always want to schedule a meeting from a meeting. So when you sample something to someone, don't just say like, great, let's check it out. What do you think? Oh, by the way, don't ever ask anybody what they think. So funny to say that. But really, we're going for an emotional experience because you really actually feel better when you use and take care of yourself. So rather than saying, what did you think about the oil? Rather say, how did that make you feel? It works. There's some biology behind your brain and your limbic system in your brain that makes people actually connect with you. They don't check out, they check in when you ask those kinds of feelings questions. So go ahead and try that more than thinking questions. I know it sounds funny. So basically the other 2 resources that are web-based that I really want to encourage you to do are the doTERRAuniversity.com. It's just a really standard, awesome, good place to start. I encourage everyone to spend 10 minutes a day on there. And then also the last one is essentialwellnesspros.com. And the password to get past the first page is diamond, capital letters. So what that will do is just give you a special link into how to, begin, and then you can advance as far into the knowledge from there. But it gives you, again, just basic overview of oils, how to use your oils, how to use your accounts, and how to share and then build. So if you want to stop prior to any of those points, you can. Nothing's a commitment here. It's all self-motivated and self-driven. So with that, that's how you get your sharing organized. You need to write it down. You need to get a binder out, and you need to just get a binder out, pretty much. Okay, cheers.